Anderson and I'm the product specialist for Pioneer DJ in the UK and Ireland. Today we're up at gak.co.uk and I'm going to be talking you through the brand new addition to the Pioneer DDJ range, which is the DDJ-WeGO4. Okay, so I'm going to break the WeGO down into a couple of sections and show you what this allows you to take control of in the Rekordbox DJ software, and also go over the other applications that are supported by the WeGO4 as well. So this was announced last month and it's available at a very reasonable price of $269, considering it comes with the full version of Rekordbox DJ. So you've got this twin style CDJ section with a very basic 2-channel mixer in the center. It's designed for ease of use. So anyone starting out, this is the perfect unit. It gives you full control over a lot of the high-end professional features inside Rekordbox DJ, inside the performance pack. However, if you're coming from more of a professional level and you're stepping down onto the WeGO as maybe a secondary setup, then it's also an amazing unit and it inherits a lot of the DNA from the professional range. So let's break it up and I'll show you what we're going to actually control inside the software. So all of your browsing and all of your navigation is done up on the central top pot, as is the same on most of our MIDI controllers. So pressing that once accesses our tree inside Rekordbox, and jumping into playlists, I can jump in and access my music like so. Let's jump into warm up. Once you've found your track, very simple. The same as in all of the DDJ range, we've got specific load buttons either side. So if I want to load onto deck 1 or virtual deck 1 inside the player, I'd use this load icon, load button. If I want to load onto deck 2 with a secondary track, load onto deck 2. So anyone that's used a WeGO3 will be familiar with this layout. You know, these circular controls that we've got above and below the platter is the same as the WeGO3, the predecessor. However, this supports a different range of software, and it also works slightly differently when we're using it with the iPad as well, which we'll get into. But for anyone who hasn't used the WeGO3 before, or the WeGO2, or any of the predecessing units, I'll go over these controls now. So, transport controls. Of course, we've got Q, which does the CDJ style queuing and takes you back to the start of the track, and our play button, which also acts as pause, quite simply. So anyone that's familiar with Rekordbox in its more traditional sense, the export mode, will be probably quite used to implementing and assigning hot cues and hot loops and checking the beat grids and getting the tracks ready for use on a USB stick, you know, on some of the other units in the range. The beautiful thing about this, when you jump into Rekordbox performance mode, is all of the tracks that I've prepared over the last 5 years contain this. It's the same database. So all of them hot cues and all of them the prep work that I've used, I can access from this unit. So we've got access to 4 hot cues. You can see I can instantly jump back to the start of my track. And this is an old track that I prepped a very long time ago. And hot cues are nothing new. This is just an instant way to jump to 4 specific points throughout the track, like so. Jump to a loop at the end. Now this doubles up as your sample trigger as well. If I hit the hot cue sampler button on here, it opens up Rekordbox DJ's sampler patch on here. So this allows you 4 banks of 8 samples. So this is a bit of pre-assigned work that you'd have to do. You can chop up samples from inside Rekordbox DJ, or you can load up samples from a sample bank, whether that's like a Loop Master sample pack or any other sample packs that you use in the production sense. You can throw into the sample slots inside Rekordbox and trigger them directly from here. When the samples are loaded up, the first 4 samples will show up on the trigger buttons below. So let's jump back. So we've got this really nice slick feel jog wheel as well, conductive platters, which if you touch on the top allows you to scratch. If you touch on the side, same as our CDJ range, allows you to pitch bend. So for more accurate kind of mixing. In fact, if we get another track running on the other side, I'll show you. Now we've actually got, well, I actually try and pitch bend this in time live. For this sense, I'll just hit sync and get the track running together. So I'm jumping onto the mixer slightly, so I'll kind of explain this as well. Differences from the WeGO3 to the WeGO4, we've now got a dedicated sound color effect pot. So it says filter on here. Default set to filter inside Rekordbox, however different softwares don't allow you to change this sound color effect. So it's dedicated as filter on the hardware. However, inside Rekordbox you can change this. But we've got these really nice sounding filters inside Rekordbox now. So you might be thinking, where's the 3-band EQ? We've put a dedicated sound color effect pot on here and given you a 2-band EQ, so lows and highs. Now this can be changed inside the software. It can also be changed inside the WeDJ software, which is the application, the Pioneer DJ app that we're going to cover in a minute. So for anyone who wants mid-range control, you can specify these 3 pots to be 3-band EQ. However, the filters sound so slick on this, you can kind of get away with mixing with the filters anyway. So this is kind of the preferred method of use for a lot of DJs. Now, all of your monitoring control is controlled in the central section here as well. So we've got the ability to listen to the master through our headphones, or deck 1, deck 2, or both. So completely up to you. I'm going to jump back onto this section and explain a little bit of the looping control up on the top. Stop that second track. So we're actually in a loop at the moment, as you heard this track running the same thing over and over again. Let's jump back to the start of the track using our hotkeys. So we've got instant access to Rekordbox's beat gridded loops. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see that on camera. Now, if I can specify the loop size using the half and the double parameters here. Now that will specify my loop size on the software. So let's say I've specified an 8-beat loop. All I need to do is hit the loop button and we've got quantized loop, good to go, instant access. You can also half this during the mix, like so. To exit the loop, you just literally hit loop again. Very straightforward. Now, the effects control, Rekordbox does have a whole host of what we call beat effects, which are quite in depth and you need quite a lot of control to manipulate them. So we've kind of given you access to the really cool sounding and really simple effects with these 3 buttons here. So we've got dedicated control over Rekordbox DJ's pad effects using effects button 1, 2 and 3. So yeah, as soon as I press effect button 1, the GUI is going to change into our pad effects and give us the view of what pad effects are available to us. So there's actually 8 pad effects on the GUI, but of course we've got access to the 3 best ones, and you can actually customize these as well. So let's jump into them and you'll hear straight away really nice organic sounding echo effect. We've also got effects bank 2, so effects button 2, which is a flanger, and of course you can use these together, and then a vinyl break. Now if I hold shift and press these, it goes into pad effects page 2. So now I've got a multi-tap delay, a reverse delay, and a backspin. Now, you're not limited to these are fully customizable, which is really useful. We can actually jump in, and inside the GUI, anyone who's familiar with Rekordbox will know about the customizing options inside pad effects. It's quite detailed, but very simple. You just literally hit the edit button, and then this effect, for instance, which is my multi-tap delay, I can jump in and I can specify which effect out of all Rekordbox DJ's beat effects and all Rekordbox DJ's color effects, which is very extensive. Let's say I don't jump to dub echo instead, and specify the color of that to be 40%. Come out of edit, and then you can see I've got this subtle dub echo effect rolling over there. And you could even go to the extent of having dub echo increasing as you jump across the effects. So without having masses of control, which you don't get on entry-level controllers as standard, we've got access to the professional level of effects in a very straightforward manner. And of course these can be used in conjunction with the filter, and they can be used together as well. Very simple. We've also got a mic input on the back of the unit, an RCA output, we've got a USB connection on the back here, which I'm going to jump into in a moment. So this is the USB connection or lightning cable connection to your iPad or iOS device. So the previous unit had, the WeGo3 had a dedicated cable that came in the box that would allow you to connect to your iOS devices. And then the older units, the WeGo2, you had to have an additional cable to enable you to get iOS support. Whereas the WeGo4 is very straightforward. You can use your iPad's standard lightning cable that comes with the iPad to connect that to this. So now I'll connect the iPad to the dedicated USB control and I'll talk you through the Pioneer DJ WeDJ app. So jumping into the WeDJ app, there's a very similar method of use, similar operation. In fact, all of the controls are pretty much the same as what we were looking at on the Rekordbox DJ software. And of course, this is a Pioneer DJ native app, so we've developed this all in-house. So the sound quality is all the same. All the effects are modeled on DJM series mixers as well, the same as Rekordbox DJ. So it's all kind of very similar sounding and very similar operation, although the database is different. So at the moment, this is reading the music from my iTunes library. So very simple to set up. Lightning cable straight from the back of the unit connected into your iPad, soon to be iOS device. So this will soon be on the iPhone as well. But it will charge the iPad at the same time once you're connected to the main, so that you're not limited to the battery life of the iPad, which we were in previous units. So let's go through and show you some of the controls we've got on here. Of course, we've got our hot cues, which we can assign and delete really simply by pressing Shift. Then if you jump to the sampler section, it's kind of a combination of using the iPad touchscreen and also using the hardware as well. So at the moment, I've got some pretty standard samples in here. Now you can load up different packs as well. If I load up the 909 pack, you can then see, if I stop the track, I've got these 909 traditional samples loaded in for me to tap in percussion over the top of my track. If I hold Shift, you'll notice the GUI completely changes throughout the whole of the app. Now this is really useful because everything, obviously we've got limited amount of control on a small controller, that's only natural. But as soon as you hit Shift, it gives you the secondary function of everything. So that gives me the other 8 samples as well. The other controls on the unit we'll cover in a minute, but it's mainly effects wise. Now there's 0 latency, 0 lag, purely because it's an SSD inside the iPad. So really reliable, really stable, and really slick to perform on when you're DJing. We'll come across onto the looping controllers on the top. This works in the exact same way. You can punch in a loop and you can reduce the loop size and double the loop size using the opposite button. And then when we come onto our effects, again, very straightforward and easy to use. Now at the moment, this is set to an echo effect, but there's 15 to choose from initially. Now you can see I've got different parameters here. So a half beat echo, a quarter beat echo, and a triplet. And of course when used with the filter, really organic sound to them. So it doesn't sound like you're DJing from a cheap piece of software. Now this app is being introduced into the market at $3.99, so a very affordable app, although it will have a standard price of around about $7.99 going forward. So really kind of instant way, an accessible way to start DJing with all the music on your iOS device. All this music, if I hit the browse pot, you can see you can use a combination of both. If I jump onto my playlists and scan through, all of this music is stored directly on the hard drive, which has a relatively big storage space. So instantly I can DJ with all of this stuff, and soon there should be links into other streaming services as well. So let me display, instead of using the echo, I'm just going to go in and load up, maybe show you some of the other effects. Let's go into our roll effect, another famous DJM series effect. Let's jump back to the start of the track. Really easy to use, standard roll effect. Made famous on the DJM series mixers, but you know, instant access to that. Now I'll jump into the other views and show you some of the touch effects as well. So if we jump into scrolling waveform view, this is really nice addition to the software. It's always helpful when we can see scrolling waveforms which you can zoom in and out of, should you want to. And I'm going to hit the slicer mode because this is really, really nice. It's a quantized slicer control, which we have to use the touchscreen of the iPad to manipulate, but provided you've got quantize on, you can tap away on this and come up with some nice kind of little stuttering effects, all in time as well. So we could be mixing, have the other track rolling, go to slicer on that also. So it's almost like you're remixing on the fly. So we've also got a vertical view for DJs that prefer to see the waveforms scrolling upwards. And if I hit this central button here, this takes us into our touch effects, which are, in my opinion, kind of what seal the deal with this, because they sound amazing. And it allows you, it's almost like a macro, so you can manipulate, if you were to do it on the hardware, like a beat effect and also a filter, a sound color effect at the same time. So I've got this set to echo and filter. So using the XY pad, you can hear I'm echoing and filtering that. And if I move to the left and right, it changes the delay time. And it's not abrasive, it's not harsh sounding. It sounds really nice. If you hit hold, that will actually stay on. So, you know, really useful tool for when you're DJing and when you're mixing. Now, of course, you can hit edit and you can manipulate these as well. So at the moment, I've got it set to filter and echo, but I can jump into this and I can choose from any of the beat effects. So let's go to pitch and any of the sound color effects and any of the beat effects as well. So let's go to trans. So we've got trans and pitch now. Come out of edit. So trans is chopping the track up. And then if we manipulate the X pad up, you get pitch control also. So really easy to use. I'm going to come out of that. The key thing with this really is the look and the feel and the simplicity of the app. As you'd expect, this is kind of an entry to DJing, so it's designed to be as easy as possible to use, as instant kind of gratification, but at the same time giving you elements of the pro DJ range whilst you're DJing, you know, not scrimping on quality, sound quality or effects features. So of course other applications can be used with the WeGo4, but Rekordbox DJ and the WeDJ app are kind of our native apps. They're the apps that we develop in-house and the ones that we're pushing the most and the ones that integrate seamlessly with the WeGo4. However, there's also a license for Virtual DJ LE that comes in the box with the WeGo4, and it will also support Algorithm DJ and Tractor. So you're not limited to using just Pioneer software with the WeGo. It's kind of open-ended for you to pick and choose what actually works best for you. But yeah, this is retailing at the moment and it's available in the GAK storeroom in Brighton Town Centre. So get down and get hands-on with the WeGo4 for yourself.